So we were given a book and a white God. So we became disconnected from ourselves. So we have to try connect to something that's not of us. When we look at it, we don't see no connection. So we became outside of ourselves, trying to find ways now to connect to what was given to us. And there is even a disconnect within the God itself. If we really check into it, because this God who is good and all good is also presented as evil. Because if you don't do a particular thing, a particular way, you're going to get lightning and brimstone and all manner of evil will rain down upon you from the God that should be all good, spotless, white as snow. So there's a disconnect within the God given to us within the God itself. And I'm not telling one about the Bible, don't read the Bible, don't do this. We need to learn all things. And there are good things in the Bible. Love your neighbor as you love thyself. Those are things to live by, you know what I mean? Don't render evil for evil. These things. But we also check it, because we still have people that say, God say, which there's no book in the Bible that is under the claim of God writing this, just like how you have Matthew wrote this, Paul wrote that. So, and we want to say, we know there were inspired people, just like there are inspired people today. Think that it was given to us as a God created for us to become submissive. Stuff like obey your masters. So who we didn't know as masters were the slave masters, which were white people. And then if you're given a God that is like unto your slave master, looking like a slave master, representative of your slave master, then therefore anything looking like that God should be your master. So the indoctrination and the brain clogging created the disconnect from ourselves, trying to reconnect back to this thing which is not of ourselves. And then if we go into your God was created in your image and likeness, and then you were born and shaped in iniquity. So that now create a disconnect from you and the God given to you. Because if I am created in the image and likeness of my God, and my birth and shaped in iniquity, but looking at the God that I have in front of me, the white God with long pretty hair, and so that only tell me, so then some mistake make along the line, because if this is my God we making the image of, and then me use some shape in iniquity. So when I look upon the God and look upon myself, the shape of my shape in iniquity is a bad thing, and the likeness and image of me look like the God with me supposed to be shaped in and in the image of. Then that means I have to do something to myself now to match up to the God there. Hence the bleaching and the European look of hairstyle, and take it on through fashion, because that's the way they bring it to we. Eyelash and out the phone, then we have filter we out. Because when I see base pan, when I see people I put up, when I see no filter up, nobody I look black and nice. Everybody I look white out and brown and high coloredly brown. So these are the way these things are coming at us, and we're not even, because we see them as fashion and style and what's trending. So we disconnected from ourselves. So born in sin, shape in iniquity, and at the same time you're creating in the image and likeness of the God presented before you. So we look at ourselves, look at the God, and there's a disconnect. So we have to do something to match up. We need to check into this thing, dig into it, dissect it, analyze it. Yeah, so we need to say spirituality and not religion and church. We still say religion and church. I push a woman can't believe that a woman of a preach, and in this modern day we not understand it should be a worshipping of each other, man and woman. As it's the man and woman union that brought us here. And we have to give thanks and worship and praise to that. So it's not a man before the woman or the woman before the man. It's a woman and man side by side, sharing strengths. And we need to understand this. So it's a church and religion maintaining that till this day. A perpetual disconnect. Woman to stay behind, be submissive. And then we say these things, but at the same time, who will leave the children them with? Who will leave the children them with to be groomed to become the best leaders of society? Then if the one that's going to be grooming a next one to become a leader, then who is the greatest leader in that sense? So the woman can only bring forth, bear the child, bring forth the child, groom the child to be the best leader, but her herself can be seen as a leader. Big disconnect. So we've been educated out of ourselves. We can't even think for ourselves to check into these things and see these things for what they are. Based on man and him ego. And wanting to be dominant and be the rule and be all of all. So upon a spiritual level, it should be the worshipping from the man to the woman and from the woman to the man. As I say, it's a union. So none above, none below, but an equal measure. Because from within nature itself. And when we say nature, I want just keep it limited to trees and grass. When we say nature, we are talking about all life, human, animal, everything. We are nature. So if we look into nature and when we subhead it as to animal, insects, birds, whatever the case is, we see the female and the male working together. So me and you come forth. That's how the world got populated. So on whichever level, they're not separated, there's no separation, none greater than the other. Yeah? So that's the spiritual realm we need to be operating in and on and understanding and reminding, consciously reminding ourselves of this. And we also need to consciously remind ourselves of our mortality, knowing so boy at any minute we cannot be here. And that should even bring more reverence within ourselves towards the life we have and not take it for granted. Yeah, so we've been educated outside of ourselves. And when I say educated, I don't want to understand about education in the sense of school, but education is the whole of life. Everything in life is education. It's not limited to 4 walls. So if I understand, say, spirituality now is disconnected from religion and church because all these things have you looking outside of yourself, which have to bring you back to yourself, for you feel and behave in a one particular way. So we have to recognize within even that so there is no outside entity that's going to come now, come do for you, which is what you have to do for yourself. So there's nothing outside of you that went touch you and tell you, say, I forgive you. You know what I mean? So we have to recognize it is within self. As I said before, we're the God of our environment that we create all with the wrong way, the good and the bad. We have the power to choose and refuse. Yeah? So I personally, I don't think on some real levels, a prayer where I go and pray, it shouldn't be about me. It's for the prayer I'm supposed to pray for the next one out so I can't help in a physical way. So I send out that energy to the universe that it can somehow touch somebody else closer to him to help him. And just like that, what me do for myself is to get up and do, bring the actions out. We're going to bring back to me what me want in terms of feelings and moving around in my environment. So it is the responsibility where we take to actions before and after. So there's nothing, the only thing happening outside of me personally is the action of a next person that going to influence what happened to me and the next one. And that's how it is. That's the spiritual realm in which things happen. So because that disconnect was created and we feel like we need to look outside of ourselves towards something else to bring us forgiveness. And we use that. So that's part of the reason why we feel like we can go out and do all the bad we want to do, because we can come back and go up on our knee and check prayer and clasp our hands and we say, forgive us, Lord. So we are trying to put that now on an outside entity. We come back to us, come say, all right, you are forgiven. So we feel we never get taught to take responsibility for our actions, in the sense of we know say, all right, don't do that because you see man have to deal with whatever come after that action. We need to understand say it's us, man. This life form doing what it's doing that's causing whatever is happening to us. So there's no outside entities to go and ask forgiveness from. Because if you reach to a point where you feel like you've been forgiven, where's that feeling coming from? It's within yourself. And that is probably just based on you moving through space and time and then feeling less connection to the action where you did bring off at that point in time. Why you're not feeling so guilty about it anymore because you pass it now. But that feeling is still coming from within. So there's such a disconnect from yourself that we feel, so we need to go to a pastor, or next one, if you be the mediator now between you and this God, but them give you. So them give you this God, but you yourself can't even reach to this God on the level you're supposed to. So you have to go to somebody else to transfer or to carry your message if you really want it to reach. You have to channel it through somebody else to something that is already within you, but you've been taught that it's outside you and it's separate from you. There's no separation. There's no literal disconnect that was just created by man to have control over next man. So we need to understand and check into this. So it is us, me, you, and our actions being the gods of our environment that's making all what's happening to us happening to us. So if we think of doing only good, then only good will be happening to us. And when we talk about spirituality, we are talking about even food, because we don't say religion on great levels. I tell you how to eat and what not to eat, and they're still partaking in the slaughtering of the animals and the this and the that. I want to say within our environment, we don't really see this take place. You're not about a church and thing, and you get a session of healthy eating, and them still promote the sodas and all the bad eating. That's not really a thing. I remember say the spirituality is about the wholeness and the wellness, every aspect, which is the body is the temple, so you have to keep the temple clean, and because it's only so the God within you can survive for as long as you want it to survive. So within the spirituality, you can't leave out health. Yeah? Because how can I help you if me not healthy? You know what I mean? How the community will help itself if it's not healthy? When I hear these religions and these churches promoting farming, you know what I mean? Till the soil. Make your food be your medicine. Your food is your medicine. You're being ushered to this God where you don't have no connection to by image or even otherwise. To be all and be all of your well-being, neglecting the rest of your environment. And the religion and the church is, again, that disconnect, that perpetuate you have nothing of your African history coming to you, nothing of where you're from is being preached to you. You're not being taught of any of this. So how can you find connection? It's confusion and disconnect. So our own spirituality is given back to us as evil. So create that disconnect, so we now connect to something that's white and pristine, which is showing us in the light of a mistake. If we connect back to the image and likeness of the God we created, So, and if we check into it once, we see the same spirituality and the way things are being done is copied from our spirituality, the black spiritual, African spirituality, but presented back to us in a white format. So it is evil from our side, but given back to us with a white image, it's now good and pristine. So when we shout and do for everything and speaking in our tongue to reach to our people, it's evil and it's crafty and it's, but you take the same thing and you do it the same way and speaking in tongues and it's all good and spiritual. When this thing of speaking in tongue was based on region and different people talking different language. So if the raw Frenchman when I know no other language, for the Jamaican hear English and patois, I am speaking in tongue to him, a tongue unknown to him, so I'm not going to understand. So it's not a bag of things just being said, not to be understood. It was man speaking his language and the next man not knowing the language. So another disconnect into the confusion. Yeah, so if we want to call relationship, not the man-on-woman relationship, sexual level. Again, it goes back. Man being head of the house, woman be submissive, which creates a disconnect within the relationship, the family. Because always the woman now feel equal and should be this willing participant when she's supposed to just wait on the man's direction. Do this, do that, and you can't act of your own initiative. So that creates a disconnect. And then the sexual act is presented as evil, which if you really check it into it is one of the more spiritual experience a man and woman can have together. But it is presented as evil if it's not being done according to your wishes and command from this God you have given to us. So there come we keep repeating this, creating children in sin and iniquity. You can repeat that same cycle. And we see this as something good and holy. So continuously partake in this sexual evil and continue to create in the image and likeness of a God where we are being shaped in iniquity and sin. So by preaching the evil and putting the evil in it, then it becomes evil. Which is why now we see in society a man can't second with a one woman or a woman can't second with a one man, because he's searching for something and the man has searched for something that we never get told that we supposed to create this for ourselves, make this work on a spiritual level, and then we take it to the physical. So we keep on a search. We probably somehow look for perfect when we did already created perfect, but we're not being told to tap into this perfection that we are. Not that we're supposed to think that perfection means that nothing happens or nothing bad happens. But perfection is everything that happens. It's just us that is supposed to, as Mr. take responsibility for our actions before and after. So we're going to do what's not going to bring back harm to us. They're creating the perfection, for want of a better word, if we want to call it that. So the man and the woman got disconnected, so they keep searching, not knowing that they're then supposed to create the environment and what they want for themselves on an individual level, then as a union. But all you're doing or being presented with is that if you're not doing it under this kind of an arrangement, then you're doing evil. And as the saying goes, is how a man thinketh, his behavior has become. So if you think evil, then your behavior is going to be evil. And part of the rebelliousness of the woman is because you've been telling her, say, boy, She can't lead, she can't do, she wait for your instruction. When she check, she see, say as she I do most of this leadership thing in a certain levels. So it become frustrating to her now that she's not supposed to lead, but she carry out leadership roles under your supervision. So now she become rebellious. So we have the breaking up of family because there's no connection. When I say we worship her and then she worship us and it become a worship of each other spiritually. So she do good, me do good, and then there's a goodness happening all around. We need to understand that there are very few difference between the man and the woman. This one we subdivide now that we see a whole heap of difference. But there's a very few role for a man and a woman differently in society and within a relationship setting. Very few. Yeah, so from a physical side, she look different. She grow different. From same like the man. He can bring forth a child. What a child for 9 months bring forth a child. A man can't do that. Well, I guess at this point we should have said naturally, because we see science are trying to do a bugger thing now, but yeah. And then I can feed a baby like a woman can feed a baby. So there are very few, the differences are really not that much on that level, but it's as so when we subdivide and get into it. Because even on the level of emotion, it's because we've been taught that man emotion is supposed to be different from woman emotion where we come to that place. But emotions are emotions. Yeah? I do something bad to the woman, she have a feel bad. She do something bad to me have a feel bad. There's some subdivided level now where we're going to see some kind of a difference. But most of it is because we got taught a man's supposed to behave this way, a woman's supposed to behave that way. So if we all operate from the spiritual levels of things, we will see that there is not that much difference. There's no one over the other. It's a union, it's two. We're supposed to just come and work as one. I cherish you, you cherish me, and blessed we shall be. And if we want to touch back on that spirituality, we then touch a few things how we are not evil. We check in our society now, so we accept Indian this and that, we call them astrologers and a big advertisement on TV and radio. And it's that spirituality now where ours is being condemned. Even though we know so we have to take it and use it for evil now, that's not the origin of it. Some of it was the conjuring up of the strategy for the brutal evil background mass of it. Do things to make them believe that this thing actually a work. So within them believing that now is how them outlawed it. It's a boy, I use evil when it was a thing to get the background mass of them for ease off away and stuff. As we know, human state, the same good can be taken and used as evil or perceived as such. Once the church and religion is somehow of a condemnation on a big level, creating a disconnect. Because if the God where you present and worship can be evil and good at the same time, but you can't accept that from your fellow man and be the guiding as to get back to the good rather than the condemnation. So if it was more about a guidance and a try bringing back people to the right path more than a condemnation, and would as a society operate on a different level. Yeah, we see religion and church creating this disconnect between the material world and we want to talk about the money part where hard for a rich man enter the kingdom of heaven. Because money is the root of all evil. But it's the same money that the collection plate pass around for. And give the pastors, the heads of these organizations, these business places are driving the biggest cars. Church big and nice. House, personal house nice and everything nice for the head of this organization called the church. And religion, and then we see the people now. Like I say Mr. James and Miss Mary Sunday, whichever morning you want to pass them, gig. Can pick them up in your luxurious car and then reach a church and say, oh, I'm rich. I'm fork out the money, put it on the plate, I want it nice. But them did I try to build a one room from about 10 years back where you can build and surpass. But you can't say, oh no, pitch in and show the collection plate and say, this have help this me build a house. So where's the spirituality in all of that? So this money where you say is the root of all evil is the same money you have and make yourself nice. So we see the disconnect better. And then we see the disconnect of if you just follow and don't ask no question. And I tell us that this is the way and all you need to do is follow. You know become an evil or a blasphemer if you ask a certain question. And so why is this way and not this way? And then anything that is being given to me for me to follow down a path, isn't that the thing I should be questioning most of all? Can I trust what is presented to follow this thing? And then there's the fear being driven into people. So I shouldn't be, whatever is good for me, I shouldn't be fearing it. It should be a love of this thing, that I want to be with this thing. Creating a next disconnect. And we talk about abuse, but when I say the spiritual abuse that we are get through this religion and church thing, being abused, we're not even see the connection. So if we check Rasta, Rasta say I. Now we make the connection because it is within I, and everything that I do that creates the environment where I have to dwell in. And whatever my actions bring is what I will have to deal with. So that I is each individual doing and creating a good or bad environment for himself to deal with after I'm created. And that's a spirituality what we need to tap into and realize, because it's there, it is within all of us. So within the worship of each other, man to woman, we can't forget the ancestors and the spirits before us, the energies before us, who did sweat and bleed and died to remove these chains and so we can have this freedom our way obviously now enjoy on certain levels. So the ancestral or the gods before us had created what we are now enjoying as freedom, praises to the ancestors, the spirits and the energies before us. Yeah, and I want to say to come here say Indians in India worship cow, and if I want to take a frog and see that as a God spirit to that person, and that going to keep you on a path of doing right, then we don't see nothing wrong with that either. Because isn't what the outcome is, that's what the worth is. That you can connect with something going to make you up on a right path. You don't bring harm to yourself and those in your environment, nor your environment. Then isn't that spirituality? So even within being given a God to turn to, neglecting yourself as being responsible for your actions, the whole thing of being self-sufficient and creating wealth for family and environment, we became disconnected from that also. Because within the thing of you looking outside of yourself for all that you want, then it also brings you not seeing yourself as self-sufficient and being self-sufficient to create what you want, plant your own food, set up your own business, earn your own money, make it a family thing. You know what I mean? So again, the disconnect from yourself. So you have to turn to somebody else to employ you. You have to turn to everything outside of yourself to get what you want. Not so this religion and this thing not teaching you to be self-sufficient on the level where you're like an entity to yourself, but not being selfish, so you have family and friends and environment to share that with. Well, I guess it's a smart game, because if you don't create that disconnect and then having you searching for this thing that they're providing, then I guess they would be doing themselves an injustice in the sense that they wouldn't have you now coming to them for this guidance and then literally paying them for them to continue giving this guidance and educating you outside of yourself. So you always have to be dependent of getting this thing from them. So they created a dependency. So you're always in need of this because you can't see yourself doing this for yourself. So there's a maintenance of the disconnect. Again, through African spirituality is evil and blasphemous. But at the same time, we eat the flesh and drink the blood of this Christ or this God. And that's seen as something spiritual. And you're going to wash in the blood of a man and become as white as snow. And this is spiritual. But ours, that is, if it is seen in that same light, light is evil and blasphemous. So isn't that a ritual and even cannibalistic, if you want to go there? So in some sense, eating flesh and drinking blood. And whether you want to say it's not physical or it's, why is it being referenced that way then? Why are you not basking in the spirit and the goodness of this entity? Why is that not what we are consuming then? If we're going to consume in that form, in that sense, let's eat of the goodness of this entity rather than the flesh and the blood. The fruits and the vegetables. So why are we ignoring all of that and going to the flesh and the blood? Yeah, I'm not sure if I remember it correctly, but isn't the God of the Jesus given to us? It's the same one which say, oh, you're going to forsake your fellow man, condemn your fellow man. You can see and know and touch. But at the same time, you're going to worship and praise a God where you don't know nothing about over the fellow man where you can see and touch. Or is it easier for us to believe in something more we don't really know nothing about more than just handing two generations and tell we say we have no relation, no the man, the family, neighbors we have around we can't see him to find that kind of love and patience and reverence and give guidance to. So as we spiritually remove these chains and shackles from our brain, let's spiritually add some gems in place. The gems being thinking for yourself, analyzing for yourself, looking at what makes practical sense to yourself and environment. Yeah, so we've been educated to be ignorant to self. Yeah. So we're supposed to have this wealth and knowledge about everything around us, but nothing about self, inner self, and the powers within, the spiritual powers within.